Arirang Special.
Woodblocks are produced by carving letters on wood. In ancient books carved into woodblocks, we find information and knowledge of an era. But publishing books with woodblocks did not only mean a spread of knowledge. It paid tribute to one's teacher's academic achievements. It was also a product of community publishing. Confucian printing woodblocks from the Joseon period are now drawing attention. On February 12, 2014, the Confucian printing woodblocks located in the Advanced Center for Korean Studies were nominated for UNESCO's Memory of the World Register. UNESCO's Memory of the World Register selects valuable historical relics around the world, such as ancient documents, in order to preserve and utilize such records. The selection is carried out every other year. Currently, South Korea holds 11 articles that have been designated as Memory of the World Register, such as the Hunmin manuscript. And as the next 12th Memory of World Register, the Confucian printing woodblocks are set to begin a new chapter. In the middle of the UNESCO World Heritage Site, Andong Village, a community which boasts over 600 years of history, we find the head house of Soe Ryu Songyong, called Chunghyodang. Established by his descendants and pupils to commemorate his virtues, this place has many traces of Confucian printing woodblocks.
그 서예 선생 위패를 모시놓은 그 병산서원에는 그 장판각이 있습니다. 이 목판을 보관할 수 있는 장판각은 아마 기타 다른 서원에도 일반적으로 그 장판각이라는 시설이 들어가 있습니다. 그런데 거기에 오랜 세월 동안 보관되어 있던 것을 그 서예 선생 후손들이 문중의 어떤 공론을 거쳐서 좀 더 잘 좀 이렇게 보존을 하기 위해 가지고 지금 현재 이 서예 선생 종택인 충효당 광에 보관을 해오고 있습니다.
Serving as the chief state counselor during the Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592, Yu Songyong also served as commanding officer. When he later withdrew from office, he returned to his hometown Andong and wrote Jingbiro, the Book of Correction, now a national treasure for its historical value relating to the Japanese invasion of Korea in 1592. In the early 80s, due to concerns over frequent theft and damage, Jingbiro, which was stored in Byongsan Memorial Hall, along with Soe Ryu Songyong's ancestral tablet, was moved to Chunghyodang. As a result of his descendants' decision, it is currently entrusted to the Advanced Center for Korean Studies. In addition to Jingbiro, there are 21 types of wooden blocks left by Soe, numbering about 1,800 individually. This is the Advanced Center for Korean Studies in Andong. Understanding the true value of the Confucian printing woodblocks, the center has undertaken the 100,000 woodblock collection movement since 2001. The Confucian woodblocks that have been collected thus far are 800 kinds, roughly 65,000 blocks. Anthologies are the most common of them all, while Neo-Confucian works that describe its religious doctrines, in addition to biographies, historical, geographical records, and lineages that comprise the diverse and numerous contents. There are stored in traditional categories such as Gyeongbu, the scriptures, Sabu, the historical accounts, Jabu, the philosophies of scholars, and Jipbu, literary collections. From treasure number 917, printing woodblocks of M30Ep308 produced in 1460, to Confucian printing woodblocks made in 1956, the Advanced Center for Korean Studies stores a number of woodblocks that have been designated as cultural properties. A majority of these have been entrusted by 305 families and memorial halls throughout Gyeongbuk, centering around Andong. Having been passed down to descendants as long as 550 years in some cases, these are original copies with reliable authenticity. Writings and drawings were recorded on wooden blocks and mirror images for paper printing. Collections of literary works, which comprised the majority of publications in the Joseon Dynasty, were mostly published on such wooden blocks. In addition to wooden blocks, there were many printing methods. The metal type, which offers clean, beautiful fonts, likely did not become widely used due to the shortage of copper. Another method is a wooden type. A method that combined various wooden letters, it was an economical process that allowed for reuse. But throughout the late Joseon Dynasty, wooden blocks were by far the most popular printing method with regards to publications.
임진왜란과 그 이후의 병자호란을 겪으면서 기존에 조선이 보관하고 있던 이 책판들은 전부 다 불타버리고 거의 남아있지 않는 상태가 되었습니다. 그리고 전쟁이 끝난 이후에는 조선에는 엄청난 경제적인 어려움이 닥쳤습니다. 그리고 새롭게 조선 전기에 만들어진 책을 새롭게 만들어야 될 시점이 왔습니다만은 경제적인 혼란 때문에 초기 비용이 많이 드는 목판으로 책을 간행을 하기에는 상당한 어려움이 따랐습니다. 그래서 조선에서도 이제 기호지방을 중심으로 해서는 목할자를 이용을 한 책의 간행이 주로 이루어졌습니다. 그런데 유독 이 한반도의 경상남북도 지방에서는 경제적인 어려움이 있었음에도 불구하고 목할자보다는 목판을 이용을 해서 책을 간행을 하는 것이 일종의 전형적인 형태로 남게 됩니다.
Then, what was their reason behind using woodblocks that required extensive crafting time, high costs, and meticulous maintenance? This is Andong, Gyeongsangbuk-do. There are about 100 head families that have carried on their family lineage, with about 50 head families that still practice ancestral rites for their ancestors' achievements called bulchonhui. The respect and the function of family names remain strong. The concentration of woodblocks in Gyeongbuk regions around Andong shows where the center of education and learning was in the Joseon period. Confucian woodblocks, which contain a family's educational background and traditions, were also a barometer of a family's status and achievements. Woodblocks required an enormous amount of labor and resources to the point of being inefficient, but they continued to be produced through the Joseon period.
우리 조상의 학문적인 업적을 두고 간직을 하겠다라고 하는 생각도 포함이 되어 있을 것이고, 또 서성의 학문이나 선조들의 학문의 내용을 조금도 변함이 없이 후학들에게 그대로 물려준다라고 하는 관념도 들어가가 있을 것입니다. 또 하나는 아시다시피 조선이라고 하는 나라는 신분제 사회입니다. 신분제 사회죠. 그래서 이러한 책판을 간행을 하고 있다라고 하는 것은 하나의 가문을 상징하는 심볼로서의 역할도 하는 것이 바로 이러한 책판입니다.
Woodblock printing was a popular method in other East Asian countries that also used Chinese characters, such as China, Japan, and Vietnam. But Korean Confucian woodblocks have characteristics unlike those of any other country. Vietnam is the so-called gem of Indochina. In the beautiful vacation spot Đà Lạt sits Vietnam's National Archive Center. Along with the United States, UK, and France, Vietnam is considered a leading nation in archive management. As archives are seen as important national assets, maintenance and preservation are done rigorously. The pride and treasure of Vietnam under special care is also a woodblock. An article under UNESCO's Memory of the World Register, 34,555 woodblocks contain the extensive history of Vietnam's last kingdom, the Nguyen Dynasty. Its content spans across history, geography, military tactics, legislation, religion, philosophy, language, literature, and education. It's a living history book that shows the cross-section of Vietnam's old feudal society. Its production process, however, is clearly different from Confucian woodblocks.
Quy trình chế tác mộc bản triều Nguyễn rất nghiêm ngặt vì đây là mộc bản của hoàng gia ghi lại các cái sự kiện lịch sử diễn ra trong thời kỳ nhà Nguyễn. Chính vì vậy, để đưa đi khắc in một bộ mộc bản thì đòi hỏi người đầu tiên là một viên quan viết sử thu thập những thông tin từ tất cả những cái tài liệu trong quá trình hoạt động của triều đình, sau đó viết thành một bộ sách lịch sử. Cái bộ sách đó sau đó được biên chép lại cho thật đẹp và trình vua ngự lãm. Sau khi vua ngự lãm và phê duyệt hoặc sửa chữa, sau đó lại được đưa đến quốc sử quán trở lại. Và lúc này người ta sẽ chép lại và đưa đi khắc in. Và cái quá trình khắc in này thì được các vị tổng tài toản tu là những người được giao nhiệm vụ coi sóc cái việc chế tác mộc bản thực hiện rất nghiêm ngặt và bài bản.
Of the Nguyen Dynasty's woodblocks, 23,000 of them were selected as Memory of the World Register for their rarity. In addition to the production process, Korean woodblocks show a difference in form. Woodblocks are divided into the etching surface and the end piece. End pieces are placed on both sides of woodblocks to prevent damage to the etching surface and facilitate transportation. They also allow ventilation and prevent twisting of woodblocks. As such, Korean woodblocks typically had 2 end pieces for every woodblock. In other countries where woodblocks were printed mainly for commercial purposes, woodblocks were produced without any end pieces in order to maximize profit. There is another function of end pieces in addition to protecting the etching surface. It provided a space to record any kind of corrections, if and when they were made. Some etching surfaces show traces of corrections that were made as some of the rhyming characters were carved off and replaced by new ones. Such traces are valuable references not found in the publications and demonstrate the amount of effort that was invested in order to preserve the original content. A bridge that maintained a family's educational superiority and social status. Woodblocks were carried on by the determination of descendants who sought to preserve their ancestors' work without alteration or damage. As such, their existence in and of themselves took on a vital force to this day. But it's no easy task to preserve the woodblocks in their original conditions. Without persistent maintenance, they are no more than scraps of dead wood. The passage of time is a natural process. According to nature, wood is bound to rot over time. Because woodblocks are sensitive to heat and humidity, they are as difficult to maintain as they are to produce. When ink is applied to the surface of woodblocks prior to printing, microscopic substances from the ink stick can sometimes damage the woodblocks. Due to such sensitivity, they require meticulous maintenance. Corrosion of woodblocks usually occurs due to the spread of germs or mold. The biggest factor that affects the phenomenon is airflow, meaning ventilation. The Woodblock Hall at Advanced Center for Korean Studies has an automated maintenance system that regulates its ventilation, heat, and humidity according to temperature changes. In case of fire, the extinguishing system uses gas instead of water, a method that will save the woodblocks. As such, the modern woodblock hall keeps the same temperature and humidity all year round and is comparable to an aseptic room. Time has stood still in that room, and in it coexist the relics of our ancestors and modern technology, a haven for Confucian woodblocks.
지금까지 민간에서 목판을 보존해 오는 과정에서 도난, 화재, 충해, 온습도 유지 등등의 어려움을 많이 겪었습니다. 특히 목판은 나무로 만들어져 있기 때문에 온도, 습도에 대단히 민감하고 화재나 충해에 손상이 될 가능성이 큽니다. 저희 장판각의 기타간 목판들은 이러한 어려움 때문에 민간에서 더 이상 보존을 하기 어려워서 저희 이 시설을 이용하여 기타 관리하고 있습니다.
This is Guan of Yechon's head house in Andong. In Baeksungak, the library in the back, about 1,000 woodblocks, including literary collections in their early stages, are still being stored. Especially Joseon's first encyclopedia, Daedong Umbu Gunok, treasure number 878, is the family's precious tradition that is passed down from generation to generation. From the Go-Joseon era to the time of compilation, it organized Korean geography, history, biographies, literature, plants and animals.
원래는 우리 선정인 여기서 한 2km 정도 올라가 있는 초간 정사에서 발췌하고 거기서 편찬하신 곳입니다. 그래서 그게 팔짝집으로 백성각이라는 그 현판을 걸고 보관되어 있어서나 관광객들이 와가지고 그 오지만큼 자꾸 그 훼손을 시켜. 그래가지고 도난도 우려성도 있고 또 훼손될 염려가 있어가지고 이 지금 현재 위치에 옮겼습니다. 앞으로 보관 상태에 대해서는 지금 현재 국학진흥원에 기타를 할까 싶은 생각도 들고 앞으로 그렇게 돼야 되겠지요. 그래서 원래는 이 모든 것이 제자리에 있어야 그 가치가 있는 겁니다. 그러면은 뭐 자손이 되어가지고 이거 뭐 하나 못 지킬 바에 뭐 있습니까?
Confucian woodblocks are collective products that were naturally formed in authors' memorial halls or privately among the people. That is the reason why the world took notice of Confucian woodblocks. Considered to be a symbol of traditional Confucianism, Andong village is a clan society that retains a unique culture that makes it the most Korean place in all of Korea. In 2010, it was registered as a World Heritage Site. Since becoming registered as a World Heritage Site, Hahway Village has been seeing over 1 million tourists annually. Its culture has come back to life to be shared and enjoyed. Prior to registering the Confucian woodblocks to the memory of the World Register, the Advanced Center for Korean Studies, which began the 100,000 woodblock collection movement in 2001, is working hard to promote the importance of Confucian woodblocks through exhibit tours and international conferences. The product of collective intelligence, unseen in any other nation or history, each precious Confucian woodblock is the one and only original work with no other additions. Confucian woodblocks will be judged during the next Memory of the World Register Advisory Committee meeting around June 2015 and receive a final decision. What is carved at the tip of the knife are not just words, but a spirit. Words without spirit are not properly engraved. Confucian scholars' sharp discernment and passion for learning, as well as their wisdom and insight, are carved into Confucian woodblocks. In the dead wood, a whole world lives on. And as a World Heritage, it will carve its place in history.